And our mailbag question of the day comes from Joseph Crivelli, who writes to Sean, Tyler, and Taylor. I have a... Boy, say that 5 times fast. I have an oil question. Given that the U.S. has advantages you've all discussed in the past regarding our possession of advanced oil refineries and high-quality oil in the ground, I wonder if you might add some color to the nation's relative strength in one or other end markets for oil-based products. What does the U.S. pie look like sliced up into for various other oil product families? Do non-fuel uses of oil color our domestic and new export market potential? We tend to reflexively think fuel products are the most important drivers of the domestic oil product, but plastics and other products may be even more important for faster-growing domestic oil uses. How important are these other uses for crude? Yours foolishly, JC.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I can't now. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to just boil it down for you. It's kind of like that scene in The Graduate when Dustin Hoffman gets told that he should get into plastics.
Fair
Is
enough.
that the future? Is that a big deal?
It's still going on, so it's been a good run for Dustin Hoffman if he did get into that market. I don't know what his future held after
That
the
happened
movie,
in,
but,
didn't George Bailey's friend get into plastics for World War II or whatever, and It's a Wonderful Life? Like, George, put all your money in
You're
our...
really throwing it back to something.
I
none
like
of us are
good
familiar
old
with.
movies. I'm sorry. These
Well,
are two
I watched
American
The-
classics.
I watched
I
The
apologize for
Graduate
nothing.
over New Year's on my flight back from Portugal.
And you probably saw It's a Wonderful Life at Christmas.
No, I did not see
You
that,
didn't?
no.
Why
Only
do
The
you hate
Graduate.
America?
Only The Graduate.
Why do you hate America?
Yeah, plastics. So in the international scheme of things, oil does impact plastics because you can get ethylene from, or naphtha, I guess, turns into ethylene somehow in the whole formulation. But in America, we're producing
With alchemy.
ethylene at near record rates for us, thanks to natural gas booming. So 2014, you saw the U.S. have a tremendous advantage when oil was over $100 a barrel. So on a global platform, we're not quite as competitive anymore because oil prices are in the $30 a barrel range. So naphtha is now cheaper to produce in parity with ethylene here. But long term, we have this natural gas supply that we could use for decades. So you see companies like Dow Chemical pouring billions of dollars into facilities down in the Gulf region to take advantage of this. And I think that that's going to probably continue. The money right now is being spent, so these plants aren't necessarily coming online, but we're producing, it's over 1 million, what was it? I had it right here. Record levels of ethylene in America. The aggregate number doesn't necessarily matter. It's at a record. So I think that long term that's going to be a competitive advantage. Right now, oil prices came back, so it's not necessarily, but this is a long term thing.
Right. Tyler, you're saying something interesting upstairs when we were talking about the show.
Well, it's kind of on the same idea as the fact that with such cheap natural gas, I mean, even at 30, surprisingly,
Wasn't it 13 like 5 years ago?
13 what?
$13 per BTU for natural gas.
For natural gas.
Like at
Yeah,
the peak in
well,
2008 or something.
That was quite a while ago before
Yeah.
the shale
Yeah.
boom took off. But what really Taylor is getting at is kind of like that oil and gas spread price. And I believe that at right around 8 to 9 times the price of gas, so if you multiply price of gas by 8 to 9 times, that's about the equivalent when you're looking for naphtha and ethylene production. So even at today, there's a slight margin. It's not certainly as great as it used to be, like you said, at 100. But kind of going back to Joseph's question, do we have any opportunities of using oil in that regard? And if you look at the way that oil is used in the United States and almost everywhere else, the portion of pie of oil that is used outside of transportation is rather small. More than 70% of all oil goes into
Petroleum.
it goes into transportation.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to make a play, I guess you could say, in the non-transportation aspect of oil, it's a very, very hard niche to invest in.
I mean, just
And-
buy Dow Chemical at that point, right?
But
Well, they're actually trying to
but they're
diverge
moving to
away.
natural gas
Yeah,
anyways. I mean,
so-
if you look at all of these companies, and if you want to really think about how to get into that realm of plastics or the non-transportation aspect of petroleum and hydrocarbons, look at the investments right now. The investments are all in natural gas in the United States as a feedstock, and if that's the way you want to make a play on it,
We're the Saudi Arabia of natural gas, haven't you?
Well, yeah,
heard?
Dow's trying to make from 70% of their ethylene coming from the U.S. to about 80 to 85% of it coming from the
Wow.
U.S. over the next few years.
Yeah, CP Chem, which is a joint venture between Phillips 66 and Chevron, multi-billion-dollar ethylene facilities down on the Gulf Coast. ExxonMobil's looking to more than double their production down there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's companies left and right going down to the Gulf and just setting up shop with these massive chemical manufacturing facilities.